Good morning, everybody. Coming to you from my crop room this morning. Oh, and it is a cold one. Perfect day to stay in and craft the day away. I hope you get a chance to have some creative time today because there's not a lot to do outside, even though the beautiful sunshine is trying to get me out there. But you know what? My crop room is nice and warm and cozy, and I think I'm going to stay right here. I've been this past few weeks trying to organize my room a little more, and I came across this old magazine. I can find it here, and it inspired me to do this card. And you could really do a card, you could do a border for your scrapbook page or whatever with this same technique. But I thought it was like, I remember doing this a long time ago, but I thought what a great idea for our zip strips that we never use. I mean, I do use them some, but I don't use them all. So part of what I was organizing was my zip strips that I tore paper packs apart and organized them a little more so that I would be able to use my older papers. And part of that process was I ended up with a bunch of zip strips. I'm sure I could pull out more, but this is how I did it. I'll show you. I'm going to tilt my camera down. So I used my old Croppin' Style that we used to have stickers in. I used that for my organization. I'm trying to get this right here for you. I used that for my organization. So essentially these are just things that have holes that you can put in the binders, the Croppin' Style binders. And they're strip holders. So remember, we used to have all those strip stickers. Well, I just put my strips right in there. So now I can organize them by color. So I have 3 pages so far started, and these are blues and greens, and these are mostly neutrals. And then I did one for more vibrant colors, purple, pinks. So this way, if they're in my face and they're out, or I need them, I know exactly where I can get some. So I thought that was a great idea to do for that organization tip. But the best part was I found this little magazine. I think it was from Scrapbook or Card Maker, and it's from 2012 winter. So what's a perfect perfect season for me to get into and play around with. And this little card came up, and it shows you how to actually put some zip strips. I'm going to use double-sided adhesive. I'm sure you could use a tape runner if you wanted to. But I don't think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use my double-sided adhesive because I think it'll work just as well. So I'm going to give you a little tutorial on how to do this and work with you, and you can work along with me if you'd like. So get your zip strips out and get your white cardstock. I'm going to get another little piece of white cardstock here to cut, and I've got my card and I've got my zip strips all picked out. I'm going to do a Valentine card because gosh, we're getting close to Valentine's. Now I'm going to cut, you know, our cards are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, at least the ones I use. You can make this any size you want, you just have to size down accordingly. So I'm going to do my background sheet and my 2-sided sticker stuff at 5 1/2 by 4. So that's what I'm going to, or 5 1/4 by 4, I'm sorry. 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to cut my white cardstock at 5 1/4 by 4. Because that's the size that I'm going to use to put the zip strips on. Make sure that's 5 1/4. Yeah, it is. I can get 2 out of this sheet. I'm going to do 2 at the same time. 5 1/4. There we go. Now I've got this little sheet here of this stuff, and I'm going to cut that at 4. And then 5 1/4. I'll have to do with the other one later because I don't have enough of this stuff out, and I'm not going to go looking for it right now. So here. So then I've cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4, so it'll fit on there. Probably could fit this stuff together. I just dropped my card on the floor. Probably could fit this stuff, the ones I've got left, together with you know, just patch it together, but I'm not going to do that right now. It takes too much time. So now I can set this here, and I'm going to, how I'm going to start it is I'm going to take one side off a little bit in the back. I'll show you what I'm doing. Trying to get this separated here. They don't always separate so easily. Well, maybe I'll do this side. Doesn't matter what side I do, I guess. As long as I get a side, right? And I'm going to fold it back a little bit, like that. Increase it. And then I'm going to get my little piece like this. Or you could do it this way. I suppose this way would be easier. To put the piece on the bottom. And then line up your edge. Get my trimmer out of the way. I don't have enough room to get my fingers in there. Line it up on the edge like so. Sorry if my head's in the way. I hope it's not. There we go. Like that. Press this down. And then you can just like... This is how they show you how to do it. Just pull it. And as you're pulling the piece of paper, make sure you've got it like a bone folder would work great for this. You can take your bone folder right here like this. And as you pull the paper off, you just kind of ease it all down and it comes out perfectly. So that way you're not struggling with having it all askew and whatever else. And get it down there good. And now I got to get the back side off. There it goes. So now I'm going to pull off, and I'm going to push that corner down a little better because it didn't stick very good. But now I'm going to pull off that. So this whole side is sticky. So now I got to put it down. You know, the best way to do this would be to get out your little sticky mat like this. This is pretty pathetic, but this would work great too, because this way I can get it on there straight, like so. And this is only temporary. Stick it down so it doesn't move. Okay? Now the next thing is, the first one, it tells me to cut these in 6-inch strips. So I'm going to do some of them that way. My instructions tell you to do that. So I'm going to cut some in 6-inch strips. Now I want a heart in the center. And they kind of went, mostly up to the top like that. And then down to the bottom like that. They stretched it right out good. So you kind of want, I'm going to center those two hearts on the ends there like that. And just like that, put that one down. And then they cut one in half. Which I think I'm going to cut this one. No, I can't cut this one in half because it's a heart. So I'm going to have to find one I can cut in half. Let me see here. Since I used a dark one, I'm going to use another dark one. So I'm going to cut this one at 6. And then I'm going to cut it at, it's a 1/2 inch, I think. Yeah, these are 1/2 inch strips. I'm going to cut it at a 1/4 inch. Now this is a little tricky sometimes too, and if you need to, you can always put a little adhesive or use a piece of washi tape to tape it down on your trimmer. I am just really careful, and then I hold it tight, and I start in the center, and I go this way and then down, so then it cuts pretty well. And then you're going to put one, it's before the corner, so you're going to put one like, now you don't want it in the center, but you want it butted up against there, and you're going to put it over like that. And you're going to push it down. I think I could probably cut that one off and maybe use it on the other side. Let's just see. I don't need to cut it perfectly, but just enough. Yeah, I think I can use it this side. So then you're going to come over, say, 1 inch on this side. Like so. I mean, it doesn't really matter how you do this, just as long as you do it like this. So it's kind of like a like that. And then the next thing you're going to do is just start filling in. So now I can go and find another zip strip here. Let's see. Cut it at 6 inches. And they did a full one the next time. So I'm going to do a full one. And they kind of went, I'll show you. They went like this. And I'm cutting it off as I go. And then they went, let's see, they used the same one and they went like this. So you're going to make like a triangle thing. Almost, well, it's kind of like a log cabin if you're doing quilting. A little bit. And then next I can get a different one. Let's see, I'll use this one. It's a gray, a light gray. I'm going to put all my extra strips over there so I know where they are. And this one I'm going to cut at 6 inches. And I think, did they do a 1/4 inch the next one? Yes, the next one's a 1/4 inch, so we're going to cut it in half again. And I just line it up on my trimmer like that, and I hold it down, and I just whoop-de-doo, off it goes. And then I'm going to go here. They worked 1 quadrant at a time. I think that works fine, because they don't all have to be the same, because you don't want them all the same. And I may end up having to get more zipped strips out before we're done, but we'll see. that. There we go. And the smaller you get, I can use some of these small pieces once you get way down in there. Let's see, I probably don't have enough zip strips out, I'm thinking. Let's see here now, what can I use next? This one. No, I used that one already. Let's see here. I'll try this. No, that's the same gray, so I don't want that. I'll use this one. Or I could use the red one again, huh? Yes, I could use the red one. I'm going to use the red one again. So we got to go this way. Try to cut that. It's a little tricky cutting it with the sticky mat. The one's on the sticky mat, but at least it keeps it in one space, one spot for me, so it's easier to work with. Now, do I want to do it that way or this way? Do I want to keep them going the same way? I guess so. Let's trim that off, make it even. Like that, and then go like that, and then I'll have them going the same way. Like that. I was thinking the red should have been the center, like a log cabin quilt. There we go. And now I think I'm going to just use this dark gray again. Oh, I gotta use a small strip though. Where's my little skinny one? That's gonna be weird though. It's gonna make it just a teeny tiny little one there. Well, I guess. Use my dark gray again. Trim it. Doop-de-doo. And then trim it again on this side. And I got a teeny tiny little spot there. Oh dear, that's gonna be hard. That's okay, that's how it works out. You can't change that. And I'll just use a little piece of this. It doesn't really matter. You're not going to see much of it. Just make sure you get that little piece in there good, and then just trim your paper smaller so you can not have it all hanging off there. Okay? In the end, we're going to go around with our scissors and trim all the whole edge off. So now I'm going to try and do this. What did they do next? They didn't really show you. They just showed you the first one, and then you have to kind of go on your own. I'm going to cut this one down to a 1/4 inch. Oh, I already have one here. Never mind, I got one here. Yeah. Yeah, a 1/4 inch. Nah, do I want to do a 1/4 inch? No, I guess a 1/2 inch one, huh? So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to start here. No, I don't want to use that one because that one matches. I'll use this one. The hardest part is figuring out which ones you want to use. So just pull out a bunch. Doesn't matter. You can, as long as they kind of all go together, it won't matter. And then we're going to go down here to this side, just like we did the last one. And we're going to trim it. And next, I'm going to use this one. No, I don't want to use that one again. I'll use this one here. Get this one and trim it in half. So let's see here. 6 inches. And then down the center to a quarter inch. Now that moved. Well, I got a piece anyways. Doesn't really matter. I just need a piece. I don't need a whole big one. I can use that little piece for something. Use this one here. Trim it. I know some of you have probably done this already, this technique, but it's just a fun little thing to do on a cold Friday, TGIF, for us that don't really care about that too much anymore. And I'm going to use my red one next because I have to use a big one because I want to keep the continuing, I want to make it kind of like, so cohesive, I guess is the word I want. There we go. I want to add the red in because, like I said, I'm making mine a Valentine's. You don't have to have a Valentine's, but it is Valentine's season, so why not? Why not do Valentine? This could be a really nice guy card for Valentine's. I'm always looking for guy cards. Alrighty, and I think on this one, I'm just going to use this big one like this right here. Finish it off. I'm not going to make it a 1/4 inch. I'm just going to do that right there like that. Alrighty, now next we got to do this side. I'm going to use this XE one. I got to trim that off though. There's blue there or something from the paper. Didn't do a very good job when I trimmed it originally. I mean, I don't think it really matters, but I'm kind of fussy that way. Use this one this way. And use it the other way. And trim it off. And now I'm going to use a 1/4 inch strip, so I'm going to use, I'll use this light gray one. Gotta try to match them up. I missed a little bit there, but you know what? In the end, you know how you can fix that? You can run it through an embossing folder when it's done, and I think that's what I might do. I've got a nice heart one out because I've been working on a few Valentine cards, and it's an old close to my heart goodie that I love. So I think that's what I will use. I think I'm going to use this one here again. I like this one. I don't have too many dark ones. That's the thing when you're picking them out. You want some that are kind of like light backgrounds, and then you want some that are dark. So you get some contrast when you're doing this, because that's important to make it look more interesting. Get the contrast going on it. That one, I wonder if I can pull that one up a little bit. Nah, I can't really. I should have pushed it up a little farther than I did. There we go. And on this one, I need a little something in the center. What do I have here that I've used already? I haven't used this one, so maybe I'll just take this one and stick that in there. And just cut a little piece off. There we go. Alright, so now I think I'm going to cut this split that I've got in my hand in half. So let's just get it down to 6 inches first. And then I think I'll use the one that I've already started, so I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to try to get this so I do it right this time. You just have to hold the bar. I have a bar one. I hold the bar down because there's not really a good spot to hold this down to keep it tight so it doesn't move. Alright, so now I'm going to go upside down because I got to get on this side. See, this little sticky mat is kind of sticky. It does make stuff stick to it. I think I've got enough here. Yep. So the idea is just to use the same strip twice in each quadrant as you're doing it. Come on, Mary, get that in there. It's a little fussy, but it's going to be cute when it's done. And it's a good way to, as I say, to use up those zip strips. I'll leave that one right on there like that. Now I want to get my hearts on there again. So do I do it this way? I guess so. Cut this off. I suppose if you're using a pattern, it's inevitably going to be upside down at some point, right? And then I'll do this side. Get that straight. That piece is not straight. As long as I'm doing that, I'm going to cut off the one heart, make a full heart. There we go. I like the addition of the red because this is, now if you had happy birthday paper, this could be really fun too. Think about happy birthday paper on this card. It would be really fun. And I do have a happy birthday pack that I haven't used a whole lot of. It'd be a great happy birthday card. Shamrocks. I bought the Shamrock stamp, so I have plans of using those green zip strips that I had in there for the Shamrock. And now I need a skinny one, so I'm going to use this one. I like this one. Problem is when you cut them crooked, you got to trim them off even on the other end. You got a lot of little pieces left. There we go. That's good. And now what am I going to use? I want to use this gray. And, oopsie, that's not good. I'm gonna get it tighter. I got a little tiny square there again, or a little tiny rectangle again there. I don't know how that's gonna work. We'll have to see. Not even really. I'm gonna try and just push that out a little bit, I think, because that way I don't have a, I mean, it's so small. That's not gonna work too well. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Let's see here. I might just trim that down entirely. Okay, so now it's all on there, so I'm going to peel it off here. And you can do it one of two ways. You can take it to your trimmer like this and do it on the back side and line up your edge with the trimmer, because you can't really put it on the edge because there's too many pieces sticking down. But then once you get one side done, and it didn't cut right there a little bit, I've got to trim it a little bit better with my scissor, because you want that nice and even. See how that's nice and flat? And then I'm going to go this way. Now I can go this way. I got all these little pieces in here. Let's hope it works. And I'm just lining my edge of my trimmer right up to the edge of the cardstock piece. I'm just trimming it up a little bit. See how nice and smooth that edge is? I got all these little tiny pieces. It does kind of make a mess that way. You end up with a lot of little tiny pieces. And or in the way. There we go. Let's see here. And one more edge. You gotta take your time doing this part because it needs to be nice and neat. Now, look at this. Look at how nice this is. Now, the next part I'm going to do is I'm going to take my embossing folder, because this is a fun way to do it. And if any of you have this one, this is an old, close to my heart one. It's just hearts, and it says it was a Cuttlebug. It must have come when I bought my Cuttlebug way back when. Oopsie, I'm throwing away something I don't want to throw away. Oh, well, get that out of the way anyway. Now I have to change my plates here because I can't use those two. I have to get this one out and this one out down here. Put my thing in now I'm going to stick this in here, and you want to make sure your hearts are pushed up because you want them on this side to be erased. So that's the way this is going in, just like it is. And make sure you get it where you want it. And now I'm going to run it through. It's going to make a little noise here because it's an electric machine. Wait till you see the magic here. This is going to be cool. Look at how fun. You see that texture? And you know what, when you do this, it kind of like takes away the imperfections of things that you thought didn't quite line up correctly. It takes your focus off that because all the edges get pushed down nice, and it really comes out cool. See, there's the back side of it, what it looks like. That's the deboss side. Here's the emboss side. So that was how you do it. Now, next up, I'll need to just get myself a little piece of cardstock to make my little frame to fit the front of my card. Get this mess out of here. Oh, what a mess I've got here now, huh? Alright, so now that's done. This is done. I've got my card right here. Clean my trimmer out. I got all those pieces in here. They're kind of a little bit of stuck. Some of them are a little stuck. Alright, now what color shall I use? I think it would look sharp with just a piece of black there. What do you think? Because the white doesn't do anything for it. I think I'm going to use a little piece of black on the top. So you're going to cut that at 5 1/4 by, or 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So 4 1/4, 5 1/2. And I'm using the solid edge black cardstock. I don't know about you guys, but I love this stuff. It is a little more pricey, but what a difference it makes because you don't have those white edges. And it is a little thicker, I think, than the regular. Get my little tape runner. Now, here's the part where you could, if you wanted to, add some ribbon or a piece of shimmer trim. You can still do that. I might still do that. You want to make sure you get the back of this good with the adhesive because it is embossed and it is kind of thick. So you really want to make sure you adhesive it well. There we go. There. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. I love it. What a fun little project to do on a cold February day. There we go. Get it on my front. Now this is going to line up, should line up perfectly with the card front because it's the same size. And if it doesn't, you can just trim off any little bit that's not. So there's the part of the card, and that's done. Now I don't know what I'm going to put on there. I've got to put Happy Valentine's Day, and I'm not sure exactly what I will put on there, but there's your card. You can decorate how you want. And if you decide to do this card, please post a picture on our little thing so we can our little group membership there so we can see what you've done. And I will be sure to post a picture of mine finished. Take care.